All right, what's going on, Jimmy? Jimmy, you feel like doing the show tonight?
Nothing good.
I don't really feel.
I want to come up with the
I don't
same
really feel like it.
amount of
I don't feel.
energy that the
Yeah.
Celtics came out with tonight, which is just like kind of like this.
You
This is how
know.
I feel. This is how I watched the game.
Uh, uh,
This is how I watched the whole game.
uh, I'll I'll do the show. Couple ad reads. Call it quits. Pay
Yeah,
the bills.
punch the clock, collect the check on Friday.
How are the first comments I'm seeing? Fire Joe. What? How in the world are we blaming
But
Joe for today?
John, we want podcast of the year. We want to make all podcast third team, so we better bring it.
That's all. I'm in it
We want
for
all
individual
podcast third
awards.
team.
All podcaster of the year. I don't give a crap about you guys.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I make it, Nick's
Then we
gonna
get
super max my ass. Yeah.
we get ad sale bumps. We get rev share bumps if we make podcaster of
I
the
don't
year.
even have a big goofy water bottle. That's how out of sorts I am right now. I'm gonna have to go get one in a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going to get
definitely
one right now.
we're
Jimmy,
gonna.
you ran for a minute. I'm getting my water. It's right next door. It's right next door. Go. You got it.
Okay. John's going. We only had a 15-minute delay to start the show, and John couldn't still get his water bottle. I don't know, you guys. You tell me. How is everybody feeling about the way the Celtics came out tonight? Does it matter? Because they're kind of in this two-seed situation, and it seems like everyone's focused on individual awards at this point. There's a lot of petitioning going on out there. I don't really know how much of it has to do with wins and losses, but without even looking at the quotes tonight, without even watching the post-game interviews, I already know what we're going to hear, and you guys should too. We didn't come out with energy. We took our foot off the gas. When we found out that player X and player Y were out for the opposing team, we just assumed that we were gonna waltz in and win the game, and we can't think that way. We have to come out
We didn't
with
come up
more
with
energy to start,
energy. We didn't
and
come up
that's
with
on me.
energy.
And that's on me. I have to set the tone early on and get the guys going, and
I
I
thought
didn't do that tonight. But
thought
that's
we
on
didn't play.
us.
I thought
We
we
all
didn't
have
play
to.
for each other.
Yeah.
Uh, we just showed up. You know,
Yeah, we just thought that the other team was going to just roll over. How many
so
times have we heard these quotes that are undoubtedly going to come out tonight? It's
so
the same
again
old song and dance. So I
for
don't even want to get fired up, and I already am. I said I wasn't gonna because who cares, right?
I'm ramping it up slow. Okay, I'm gonna get there.
You put me solo mode. I had no choice but to scream into the abyss. All right, let's
Yeah.
just take it back. Let's just take it down a second.
I don't know. I don't even know where to begin because you
Shout
know
out
what? It's
FanDuel.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
hang in,
yeah. I guess
FanDuel. Honestly, I would have hammered Celtics at the half here. Because they're
live bet.
obviously
Yeah,
favorites.
right.
I would have live bet that second half like crazy.
You know why I
Because
wouldn't have? Because it was due to effort and like just lackadaisical play. It wasn't like, oh, they were snake bitten, and it
I
wasn't
know,
like
but
I
I
was
thought it
like,
was one. I thought they needed one quarter to
they
play.
did
I
need one
mean,
quarter. They did. They only need one quarter, and they got like half of one quarter, and it was like Bobby was like, I think they're gonna do it. Like,
FanDuel.com/Boston. You want to get on the action and bet against these losers. Um,
yeah,
Bet five, you get 200 bonus bucks. FanDuel.com/Boston.
yep,
Go check it out.
two
And
hundred bucks.
the one seed may be gone, Jimmy, but there's still a chance that they get two All NBA players, and that's really all that matters at this point, right?
Thank you, some guy somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is all that matters. I mean, clearly that's all that matters, John. That's
that's what we're
all I
playing
keep.
for.
It's all I keep reading and seeing. I don't even know if anything else is happening
Yeah.
out there. But maybe it doesn't matter. Like maybe they're just gonna get the 2 seed. It doesn't really matter how they play. Once the playoffs come around, there's this just magical switch that they'll turn up the intensity, and it doesn't even matter if it's the Bulls or if it's the Heat or if it's the Nets. Whatever.
So here's the thing. This is where we're
Peyton
going to
Pritchard
get
looks
stuck.
good.
This is where we'll get stuck, right? There'll be a version, of like of analysis about that people are going to look at this and be like, this is why they can't win. Then there'll be a bunch of people and say every team has games like this. And honestly, I'm stuck between the two.
Yeah, because they were
of
playing
course
well before.
every team has games like this, and they were playing well before, and they had flipped a switch. So are we going to overreact to one game? Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you
Because
why.
we got to fill 45 minutes.
because I got to fill 45 minutes, I'm going to have to muster some sort of energy and rage tonight to make up for what we saw. That's one. But number two, keeps coming back to it. The reason it's always hard to buy into this team, and I know obviously we watch more of this team than we watch other teams, and other teams go through this as well. It's just, they carry themselves way too often like they've won multiple titles and they can just show up and walk in there. And I mean, they can't. And
That's how half the fans treat them too.
And that's how they're treated, like royalty. And like they can't. Like you gotta earn it first. Like first you gotta come out and play. And yeah, look, over 82, you're gonna have some duds, but you have something tangible in front of you here. You had to win this game to go into Milwaukee in 2 days and have a shot at the 1 seed, which legitimately impacts your title hopes. You were actually playing for something real. You could not muck this game, and you did. And as you continued to play horribly with low energy throughout, you kept thinking that eventually we'll just win because we're better. You right. Never at any point course corrected and thought, you know what? In order to win this, it's not just a matter of my threes falling. We got to turn up the defensive intensity, get stops, turn defense to offense. At no point did anybody act like that was a priority at the whole time. That's what's crazy to me. It's like they just kept doing the same thing and expecting or hoping it would. This felt like the second night of a back-to-back on the end of a 6-game road trip where like we are gassed. We'll jack some threes. They go. We'll stay competitive. They don't. We're toast.
Right.
And we'll sit the fourth quarter.
They were missing right off the bat. I couldn't believe.
So like that's what I don't get. You're playing for something actually real at this point. What are you doing? What are you doing? Everyone's saying Joe. Come on, guys. Every single
Joe
player
is
on
part
the
of
court.
It. Joe is certainly part of it.
Every player on the court laid down. Like come on.
You know what? They have to start thinking about it a little bit on a more of a macro scale instead of just like, oh, we're playing a crappy Wizards team tonight without Beal and without Kuzma, and like, who cares about this game? They have to think about it as, hey, let's build some healthy habits. Let's play connected. Let's play hard. Let's get into a good rhythm as we go into a big game on Thursday. You're right. The way they came out tonight, I did feel like they were just lackadaisical. Like you said, last game of a road trip back to back, it was garbage. And like, I think why people get frustrated with Joe is that maybe he's not quick enough to address that or make adjustments in the game. I mean, he went to Cornette and Pritchard in the fourth quarter, and Hauser, and those guys actually gave them a spark to the point where I think it got to 12 points maybe, and you're like, okay, I guess I won't throw up all over my coffee table. But obviously that couldn't last. And I didn't want him to bring the starters back at that point because the starters played so poorly for 3.5 quarters, that they didn't even deserve to be a part of that comeback. So I was fine with leaving those guys in to ride it out. But I think my issue, and maybe other people's issue, is that why not go to these guys a little bit sooner? Why not just test it out? Clearly, there's something up, whether it's physically or mentally, with a few of the guys out there. Tatum, Brown, Smart, Rob Williams was in and out. Like, if they're not bringing it, if Joe Mazzulla can't get through to these guys, like, that's not going to cut it. You're sitting the bench, you're riding the bench. Nobody is above riding the bench, in my opinion, if they come out flat and if they just look like they don't want to be there. Or if they're too good to be playing in this game. They're too good to be playing against this opponent. This game doesn't mean anything. We have our eyes set to Thursday. If you're guilty of looking ahead towards the Bucks and you can't see a team right in front of your face that's going to get you a little bit more prepared for that, then that's on you. So I think that's when people are, when they say, oh, it's Joe Mazzulla, that's got to be where they're coming from with it. But that's all I'll say about that. But that's not one. No, yeah. But it's not his fault for the effort, John, but at the same time, there has to be a part of you as a head coach that can get into your guys when they're not playing that way and at least scare the effort into them, snap it out of them, whatever it is. Ime could get it out of them.
It's Popovich, maybe Thibodeau, who'll do stuff like that. Most coaches don't. Most coaches.
I'm not saying put on a show.
What? No, I'm saying most coaches ride it out with their guys and wait for them to turn it around rather than try to huff and puff and make a statement. It just does. It doesn't. Most don't. I'll blame Joe for those games where he's not playing the right guys. He's not feeling the game out.
That's what I
He
mean, though.
forgets
Feel
he
the game
forgets
out.
Derek White is good, and he leaves him on the bench. But I think actually he saw some stuff. He played Rob. Rob was dog shit in the first half. He didn't play him for a bit in the
That's
third. Then
easy, though. That's an
they
easy
started
one. You
getting
can sit
eaten
Rob.
up. They started getting eaten up. Al looked like he was 70 years old tonight. Like they looked so bad.
Yeah, they did. But that's
the problem is, and I always bring this up, Jimmy. I disagree if you disagree, but
I disagree.
Okay, that's fine. All right, let me hear your point then.
I didn't hear what you were going to say, but I preemptively disagree.
Yeah. No, I mean, when they go to the coach, I always say, what are the things that drive you nuts that you think Joe is responsible for? And then ask yourself, did you see them do this stuff with Ime? The answer is yes. Did you see them do this? Did you see Ime stubbornly stick with lineups in times too? Yes. Did you see Brad do it? Yes. Did you see them quit on? Did you see them quit on all three of those guys because they thought they were good enough to just walk in and show up and win games? Yes. Again,
I didn't see them quit on. I didn't see them quit on Ime towards.
We saw the whole first half of last season was dog shit, like awful. But
I wouldn't say that was them. I wouldn't say that was them quitting on him. I just think that they were out of sorts and something happened. After a few months playing together, and that something clicked with that team. Whether it was something Ime did or whether they started to just play together more connected. Fine.
I think failures multiple things happen. Failure happened.
This reminds me of a Brad Stevens situation, not an Ime situation. The comparison is with Brad, not with
Ime had the good fortune of them failing early, and then the failure making them feel like, okay, so it doesn't work like this. Now it's kind of the opposite. They had a lot of success early. They went through 45 games of kind of like one on, one off, pretty good. Turned it around these last couple of games and things started looking good again. And then you just lay an egg like this. It's just really disheartening to do that. And it just takes all the steam out of, a good matchup Thursday. And again, you piss away a chance at something that matters. If you were 4 games behind Milwaukee and you lost to the Wizards tonight, whatever, you had a chance to go in there and actually do something. And you didn't. They didn't. So again, I'm always on the play. This one was a player's game. I know people go at Joe.
You'll never see me blame a coach, John. You'll never see me blame the coach over the player.
I disagree.
But
sorry,
I'm not gonna let Joe completely off the hook because I do think that, that's part of coaching. And if that isn't part of coaching, then just hire you to be the coach, I guess. At what point does coaching matter? In what scenario does coaching matter?
I think it matters so little. Like, I just don't. I think you have to be in. Like,
these guys need direction out
there.
I
think
John.
You have to be insanely good or so below replacement level bad for it to have significant impact enough to affect like a season by several games, a multi-game swing. I think a really good coach is a couple of wins, a medium one is a couple wins less.
Like, I think it's very dependent on the team too. If you're coaching a veteran team, then that's more true than not. But I think you have a team like the Celtics where it's a mix. You've got a guy like Horford, and you have some guys that have been on the team for a bit. But this is a team that needs direction out there. They're not connected at all times out there. Maybe that starts at the top with the two-headed monster and Tatum and Brown. I don't know. But you've got a guy like Rob who's not himself. You've got Marcus Smart who can be erratic at times. Grant Williams isn't playing anywhere close to what he played like last year. Derek White's been a very consistent player for them. But you can go down the line on guys that need to be coached out there. So if you're telling me coaching doesn't matter, I'm not going to say that that's necessarily true. You're saying it barely matters.
I'm saying when you slice the blame pie for the game, it's the players first, always by a mile. By a mile. Yes. The coach, you can argue, somebody put it on here, the coach isn't helping. So when the players are puking all over themselves because they are lacking pride or passion or whatever it is, self-respect to go out there and not embarrass themselves against a crap team without its 2 best players, if you can't do that for yourself, I'm sorry. Like, who are we making excuses for? These are veterans, okay? This is a veteran team. Enough. You need a guy to hold your hand and motivate you to play. Just go play. Could he help it? I don't know. I think a great coach might have had a bunch of guys go out and play like stiffs on a night like this. There's things Joe does where I think he doesn't have great feel for some things in games. I just don't think this was one of those nights. I'm not saying Joe is the end all be all greatest coach in the world. He may end up being something that is, kind of in the negative check column when you're stacking up matchups and stuff like that. But who is he getting out coached by? Bud? What are we talking about? Like, which outside of Spoelstra, who's out there like, oh, geez, Doc Rivers going to coach circles around him? These are dud coaches too, man. Like, it's the players out there who are going to make it happen or not. There's just not enough like great coaches out there to feel you're mismatched in that department. That's all I'm saying. Can you have a better coach? Yes. Is it going to make a difference or be the factor or the reason they lost? I think a small percentage. I find it so strange that's the first thing people go to in games like this.
So I'm agreeing with you that it's not the first place I go to, especially after tonight, but where I think maybe I'm a little bit more critical of the coach than you are, because I think the coach matters maybe a little bit more than you do. So that's kind of where we differ. And I think it's hard to quantify a coach's importance on a team, especially a team that we're not paying attention to as regularly as we are the Celtics. Like, I couldn't tell you how much of an effect Quinn Snyder has. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's a very good coach or whoever, but coaching does matter to a point, especially with these young guys. You're trying to build good habits coming into the league, good work ethic. You're going, a lot of times you're a player coming into the league, you're going from the best player on the team forever since you've been born to a team where now you're maybe fifth or sixth or 10th best. And there's coaching and there's player development and there's connectivity that's involved in that. So I think there's a lot of stuff that happens off the court. So yeah, you can criticize Joe for not understanding the situation or not understanding timeout when it needs to be called or not knowing when to go to a different guy in the rotation. But I think there's a lot more to that off the court that needs to be part of coaching too. And I'm not going to comment on where he's with that because I have no idea. But I do know that a good team or a great team plays well together and is tough on the court together and they're close off the court. And I don't know. I just feel like coaching matters to an extent. But John, let me just finish.
We've seen these guys lay down to different coaches. That's what I'm saying. We've seen it at different periods. Same core.
Right. Yeah. So I will finish by saying Joe isn't the problem. I just don't know if he's the solution either. So, and I don't know what the solution is, but clearly the problem always starts with the players on the court. And these guys, Tatum, Brown, they've been in the league long enough now where they know how to act on the court and how to bring it and when to bring it and when to snap out of it. And they should know how to get other guys to play with that intensity and play with that energy that's needed to beat an NBA team. I don't care who's sitting out for you. We've seen it this year. We saw it against Oklahoma City when SGA missed the game. The Celtics came out and they got smoked in that one, in a game that they should have rolled over them. It happened in another situation too. I forget exactly when, but there's been situations this year where the Celtics have just come up flat. They think that the other team's going to bow down to them because they're the Boston Celtics and everyone's has them favored to win the championship. Not anymore. And then tonight happened. So this is why I don't blame Joe fully for that. I'm just going to say he's not helping the situation. I will always blame the leaders of the team first because guess who gets the credit when they win? Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum. Yeah, exactly. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart. Those guys are always getting the credit after big wins. So obviously I'm going to be criticizing them or blaming them first for the big losses because it starts with them and it ends with them at the end of the day. Yes, a coach can help to a certain point, but he's not going to go out there and shoot for you. He's not going to go out there and dive for loose balls. He's not going to run back on defense. He's not going to do any of those things. He can tell you to, but he can't do it for you.
Okay. Anyway,
what is this all
about? We're saying versions of the same thing.
Aristotle in here?
When we were talking about, somebody put like Steve Nash in the chat. That's so funny that literally I'm just kind of rather than sitting here and crapping all over the players. We're talking.
John, it goes back to what I always said that the teacher comes. You go to parent teacher conferences and the parent sits down and the teacher tells the parent everything wrong with their student. And what's the teacher do? He doesn't listen to any of it, right? He says, it can't be my kid. Yeah, what's the parent do? The parent says, oh, not my kid. That can't be my kid. No, he would never do anything like that.
No, it's like, look, again, my final take on Joe. Of course, coaching matters some. I think where coaching, again, the biggest issue with coaching is when they've tuned you out. Okay?
Yes.
Every fan, they have not tuned Joe out. Every fan base looks at their coach and says, oh, this guy. Find me a fan base that doesn't think their coach sucks. There's like 3 of them. Okay?
Yeah.
It's so boring, guys. Go to another post-game show in another city after a loss and watch them tune up every coach in the NBA for the same stuff, okay? The rotations, the timeout, the ATO, the play. He's not getting these guys to play for him. He's got to fire them up. It's so boring. Like, if you've lost the room, like a guy like Steve Nash did, where the players are just like, we're not even listening to this dude anymore, and you're basically just kind of he knew he was dead. He's like, I'm not even running practice anymore. Like, that's a different. You've lost them. Mutiny. That's bad. Or if you have a terrific coach, an excellent game strategist, and there's a handful of them out there, and everybody else is kind of mucking around somewhere in that middle. And that's where the Celtics are. They don't have a great coach, doesn't have a great feel for the game. He's not the reason these assholes came out and played like dog shit for friggin' 30 minutes until he's finally like, get out. Okay? They came out thinking they were awesome. They were too good for themselves. He used all of his best players. He rotated them in. He tried his best.
I'm not blaming the coach. I'm just giving you a reason for why you're seeing people oftentimes who do. Yeah. That's why. I'm not going to ever blame the coach first. I shouldn't say ever, because there might be a time where I say, wow, he really effed that up. But
there was a game last week. Which one was it where he mucked the hell out of it? And everybody knew it.
That was against Utah.
I mean, he mucked everything.
In Utah. Yeah, right. And he was rightfully so criticized for that. And that wasn't just on our show. That was on the radio. That was everywhere in Boston. But more often than not, the blame is going to lie on your star players. And that's where the credit goes to. A good coach isn't going to take the credit when his team wins. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to go to the players. So I understand being frustrated with some of the decisions he makes or doesn't make. But at the end of the day, if you're not frustrated with the way your players, your star players, your starters came out today, then you're in denial. You're refusing to admit the real problem.
Thank you, Fuzzy. Missed you, by the way. That's the point. It's not one game. If you actually look at it, about a third of the games they play, this is what they do. That's what the problem is. If you do that a third of the games in the playoffs, you're out in the second round. Like, that's it. You know? This is a team that multiple times, these players under Mr. Motivator, Ime Udoka, on multiple occasions in the NBA friggin' finals, opened up post-game press conferences by saying, we just didn't come out with energy tonight. The finals! Like, the finals!
Right.
So come on, guys. That's the problem. Get it out of your system. Win something first. Win something. And then act the part. Like, you can't do it. No one's earned anything yet. You know, like everyone, you guys spend too much time telling these guys how awesome they are. Like, they gotta win something first. You can't just show up. And so that's what freaks people out about this team. Is there a world in which they show up and just friggin' flip a switch? And how often do you see teams flip switches? A lot of teams say they do it. You look at them and like everyone's waiting. Is Golden State going to flip a switch? They've been playing like jerks half the year too. You know, like it might not happen for them.
No,
the more you do it, the more it gets into your kind of habit, you know, in your DNA, and that's who you become, and that's what you do, and it's just harder to do. We're mailing this one in, Jimmy, okay? I'm doing 2 ad reads right now, and we're going home. Good night, everybody. FanDuel, sign up.
That's FanDuel, it. Yeah, sign up.
Done. Bye. Go. Everyone leave. Shut out the lights. FanDuel.com.
FanDuel.com/Boston. Yeah.
Anyway.
$200 in bonus bets. Guys, you should just fade the Celtics. You should just fade the Celtics if this is how they're going to play.
FanDuel.com/Boston. Bet 5. Get 200 in bonus bets. Easy to download app. Go and get some if you're interested in that sort of thing. Use that URL. Take advantage of the deal. Fade the Celtics. Mm-hmm. I was going to give you advice to ride the Celtics, to bet that second half, to live bet it.
Man, you must
be
glad
I'd be 1 for 1. I told you to take the Jalen over last game. That was easy. I thought it was easy money that they were going to come back and win this one in the second half tonight. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they came out in the third quarter and looked the way they did after that first half.
Well, John, I mean, again, that goes back to
Shocked,
A
Jimmy.
little bit of coaching maybe at halftime could have maybe changed things up, whether it's on the court, X's and O's wise. Maybe it's something somebody
Shocked,
said
Jimmy.
something. I know you're shocked. But there weren't
Shocked.
adjustments. I think that's what people are frustrated with, lack of adjustments mid-game.
Yeah, well, let me tell you one more thing. If you're going to do this FanDuel thing, we do have to tell you got to be 21 and over or over, present in Mass. $10 deposit required. The bonus, non-withdrawable bonus bets expire 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Hope and help is here. Gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Rest of the show, I don't know.
Did you have another one? Did you have another ad?
I'll get to it in a minute.
All right.
And then we're leaving. You guys are still here.
Yeah, here we go. This is good. There it is. I love that. This guy's like, I'm going to pay $5 to just say this one thing, fire Joe. And I want to make sure.
Fire Joe. I want this to say. If you guys want to fire Joe, everyone give us $5. Okay? Anyone who wants to fire Joe, give us $5. We'll talk about it. We'll agree with you.
He's joking. All of a sudden, tomorrow's headline: bloggers ask for payment to start, petition to get their coach fired.
Judah, I muted you because you keep threatening to leave, buddy. I'd rather you stay. I'd personally rather you stay. I want you here. I like you here.
No, he can't. He can't quit us. He would literally create another account.
I know, but he just comes on here and he's like, they're saying the same thing. I'm leaving. You're not leaving, Judah. You're not leaving.
He hates how much
you're gonna hate watch it. You're gonna hate watch it like I hate watch the broadcast tonight. Oh my God, that was bad.
Yeah. This guy's begging for a debate, John. You got anything? He's saying that I thought I kind of disagreed with you there for a bit, but I'm not gonna ever.
My people were calling me Junior Soprano for these the other day.
Well, no, I mean I can't disagree with you on that point because I deep down agree with you that it's always on the players first. I just think where we disagree is that I'm not willing to just completely write off the coach's importance or lack of importance.
If you want disagreements, wait for Bobby to come in here and tell us something about, something.
Yeah, hang around for a little bit.
Just hang around, okay?
He also got very dressed for the... Bobby's the only one who showed up tonight because Bobby got dressed to the nines for this game. I don't know what... He might have had a date or something prior to the game.
It was pretty interesting. It's the Bobby situation. You guys have seen it by now.
Can we put it up? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, he did tweet it.
If you guys want to see, I'll dance for you too, like a clown. Pay me $10 super chats and I'll rage again.
Yeah, he'll rage on any topic you want.
I will rage again. I mean, we're entering the playoffs, guys. This is pathetic.
No, can you imagine I'm worried that I won't be able to put this on this year, man.
Yeah.
With the performance like tonight, this isn't what the hard hat. This isn't what the hard hat stands for.
This is like 80% performance, guys. I'm actually not that angry.
No, because it's.
I'm just messing with you, Judah. I'm just messing with you.
Because we know that this game doesn't matter to them, and it should to an extent. I mean, obviously they're not gonna let it derail their year. Obviously, it's just one game against a team that's not even making the playoffs. But again, it goes back to getting in a good rhythm. I think people thought that they were, kind of on the right track again after a few big wins or, big blowout type wins. It's just, and this is why I can't really trust them. I have trust issues with this team, John. I really do. Thank you, Alex. But my trust issues
Alex, you're great.
Just when they reel you back in,
Luis, this is the second time you've made this joke, my man. Go for it, Jimmy.
Just when they tell you that they, love you, and they reel you back in, and they do all these nice things for you, they completely no show on you. Right after when you were just starting to trust them again. Okay, so this is where my trust issues lie. I can't say, oh yeah, they're going to steamroll the playoffs. I don't know which team's going to show up on a nightly basis.
That's where I keep coming back to it. Why did I have trust issues last year, Jimmy? Because we spent 45 games watching them play like the way they played. Right. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Disgraceful. And then watch them turn around and literally look like the best team in the world. It was really hard to just flip it right in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so they're these guys now?
Right.
However, I'll tell you this. I was willing to believe if they did flip a switch down the stretch, ran the table, smoked Milwaukee, I might have thought, they might have just been bored. But
Mm-hmm.
no, they do this and then they set you back. And now you're what? This is the other problem is if you ran the table, played for that one seed, really just kind of put your foot on the gas. Because again, you don't have to rest for the playoffs. You don't need to rest, guys. You got a week to mess around with the whole play-in situation. You got plenty of time to get right. So you can play for the one seed. It's not like, oh, I need my number one starter to go on Tuesday. Like you can play down the stretch and go for it. So they could have done it. And if they did, I might have conceded. Yeah, they were bored. They made the finals last year. Long off season. They started smoking hot. They rested a little bit, and when they needed to kick it back in, they did. And they're playing like, dynamite. They were at a full squad tonight. I thought they were going to come out and win by 70. I was so shocked by it. So now it just sets you back. What are they going to do now? They're not playing for the one. They're pretty much locked into the two. Are we going to be seeing like load management the rest of the way? Then you're not really going to get a sense of like, have they figured it out yet? You're still working Rob back into stuff. You're incomplete right now. I wanted to see it continue for longer.
That's what I'm
It kind of
concerned about,
takes the wind out of the last 7 games or whatever.
Yeah, because you're at the point now, like you just said, where obviously the Bucks game, you hope that it's all hands on deck for that one. That's a good test, and you still have the number one seed on the line there. But yeah, if it gets to be like 2 games out or whatnot, yeah, now you're getting to the situation where you're starting to rest guys. You're starting to just try to figure out, getting guys in who haven't played as much and seeing what you've got to fill out that rotation for the playoffs. But you're not getting the all hands on deck sort of good feel, and you're not going into the playoffs on any sort of note where you feel like confident about, okay, we were playing great basketball with our full starting lineup and our 8-9 guys strong. We're pretty confident in who we are and where we want to be right now, and that's it. You're kind of thinking like, man, the last 2 months or whatever it was were kind of rocky. There was some really uncharacteristic games. There were some sloppy performances. There were some no-show efforts. There was some off-the-court sort of, I don't know if you call it drama, but certainly with the Jalen Brown stuff kind of hanging over everybody's head now. You're not quite sure where this team is and how are they going to react if they lose 2 in a row in the playoffs. Like how are they going to be able to bounce back from something like that? These are all questions that I have because again, the trust issues. Like I don't have the confidence, and I don't know if anything's going to really change for me in the next however many games that they have left. How many do they have left? 7 or 6 or something like that. I don't know if there's anything they can do to really change my perspective of who they are at this point. Like I definitely don't think of them as the team the first couple months of the year. Like that to me is not how they're playing, and I just don't think that that's the product that I'm expecting. I still expect them to, get out of the first round, and I do know that talent-wise, they have the capability to be the best team in the NBA, and talent is the most important factor in the NBA. We always say that, good offense beats good defense, and it always comes down to the most talented players at the end of the day. But there are situations where, for whatever reason, if you're not playing connected basketball on the court, there's too much talent across the league, especially in the playoffs, to try to be able to do it on your own. You have to play as a team. You have to play two-way basketball. You have to play solid defense. And that's the other big thing about this team. Their defense is kind of trash right now. And last year, it was the complete opposite. They weren't relying as much on their three-point shooting and on their offense because their defense was so strong. They were just demoralizing the opponents by their defense. And their defense was turning into offense. I'm just not seeing that right now. And again, if there's this magical switch that they can flip on game 1 of the first round of the playoffs, great. I look forward to it. The history of basketball would probably show that that's not always the case.
Yeah. We found Nick's burner here. No Celtic pride.
Bill Russell isn't walking through that door, folks.
Players these days.
Larry Bird isn't walking through that door.
This generation.
Yeah. Well, and also, John, like, are they distracted by personal
There it is again.
No heart and soul. Yeah. Hey, I mean, he's not wrong. A lot of people are feeling that way. Are they distracted by other things than just playing team winning basketball?
Oh, you're asking me?
Well, you're the only other guy on the show. I'm asking your guy Kevin Sullivan, who you keep putting up.
Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Finnerty. Sully from Boston.
Kev
Come on, do
Sully.
better, Nick. Do better with your fake names.
Yeah, that didn't take him long, I guess.
Dirk doubling down on the super chats, my man. What?
Yeah, I mean, we're not asking them to win 70 games.
Nah, we're not. That's not what we're talking about. Nobody expects everybody to come in and play. It's 82 games. The season's way too friggin' long. You're talking about a guy who's in favor of load management, okay? Like, I expect duds all throughout the night, all throughout the season. I expect them to sit some guys and do with what you have. It is not that much to expect, like, a quarter's worth of effort. You know, like
they're good enough where they could one or two guys
yeah.
could play horribly and they should still easily be able to beat a Wizards
You're good enough to
team
win this game with half your team and play in half a game. So, that's how bad it was. And again, you had something on the line. So I'm sorry. I'm not excusing this as one of those nights. This was disgraceful. This late in the year when you actually are playing for something. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry, no. You know?
I mean, only 5 shots from our guy Derek White tonight. Like, someone had to be more aggressive. You know, that a situation where it's not Tatum's night or Brown's night. I mean, Brown had 18 points. You know, Derek White has been that guy that's been able to sort of slide in and do that, but for whatever reason tonight just wasn't his night. He only took 5 shots. Grant Williams 2 for 6. I mean, he's just continuing on Grant Williams-ness. Brogdon was solid off the bench as he has been, but he's going to do his thing. He's not carrying the load of a Tatum and Brown that don't show up. So I don't know. I'm questioning a few things. I'm questioning the players at the top. I'm questioning the depth on this team.
Guys,
I'm questioning just the effort.
The Wizards weren't shooting the hell out of the ball. The Wizards had uncontested layups all night. Yeah,
they were blowing by, guys.
They hit shots too. It was a layup drill tonight. It was pathetic. Backdoor cuts, people just falling asleep on switches, just uncontested stuff all night. It was so bad. This was such a bad effort.
Wizards did have, they hit a few threes, but it wasn't anything.
They shot well too, but I mean, this game was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
They ended up only shooting 35% from 3, but I know
somebody tell Bobby he's got like 5 minutes.
Porzingis had a decent game.
I'm shutting it down. Athletic Greens, guys. Check this out. You're going to need it. I'm going to need it to combat my blood pressure tomorrow. Get myself right. Get back on balance. Get back on even keel.
I took
Check out Athletic Greens. Huh? You did?
I took it. Since I got my new, I got my new order in, and it came with a new shaker bottle.
Oh.
A heavier duty shaker bottle, like with a really good cover to it. Heavy cover, like steel. Okay. Yeah. So you're getting the product, which is Athletic Greens, but you're also getting a canister to put it in, which you put in the fridge. It keeps it all fresh and cold. You're getting a cool shaker bottle, what you can use for anything. It also has like the ounces on the side of it, so you can measure it properly what you're putting in. Yeah. You're getting the vitamin D.
Yeah, Jimmy is so you guys know, Jimmy is a legit devout user, a regular.
Totally, you're getting vitamin D a year supply, which is actually a pretty good deal because you can buy the vitamin D from them separately on their website, but it's going to run you like $20. So you're getting that for free. You're getting the travel packs, and I think that's everything you're getting in the subscription. And then
we'll give you more stuff. Let me tell you a little more though. Again, don't take the millions of pills and vitamins. Take this 75 vitamins, minerals, all in one scoop, and it's all you need to do. Supports gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging, all that good stuff. And as Jimmy said, if you do go here to Athletic Greens, you read it for me, Jimmy.
athleticgreens.com/garden for a free 1-year supply of vitamin D.
Junior Soprano glasses. Yep.
And 5 free travel packs, as I was saying before you so rudely cut me off with your first purchase. And you get a T-shirt, which is a great-looking T-shirt. Now, I want to say one more thing, because a lot of people, they hear subscription and they get nervous. This is the type of subscription where you can cater it to your own personal needs. Maybe you're not going to take it every day. Maybe you're going to take it every other day. Well, you can make the subscription come once every 60 days. So it's not piling up on you. You can pause it whenever you want. And also, John, I heard this recently.
Yeah?
AG1 is now offering a 90-day money-back guarantee.
Shh, don't say that.
Not that you would,
I know.
but for all those who are concerned that, it
Okay.
might not be
Jimmy
what I
said too
want.
much. He said too much. Let's
There you
ask
go.
everybody, where are we right now? Where are we on this thing?
Well, it appears we know where you are.
That's just where they put the needle all the time. I can't get one of these things where the needle's not on me. In
The
panic
needle's
land.
just always on panic.
Yeah.
I think people are probably right down the middle between me and Josue.
Yeah.
At least I think that's where they should
That's
be.
where I am. I still think they waltz to the friggin' conference finals. I really do.
I just don't know how you can say they're going to waltz there. I think that, okay, well, I can kind of see that. I think they're going to cruise through the first round. Second round, I don't know. I mean, if the Sixers play hard, like, they're going to give them problems. I know you think that they're just going to dominate the Sixers, but you have to show up to these games. You have to show up. So, again, I'm not going to say they're going to waltz anywhere until I see them put in consistent performances
Where's Sherrod? He's not Sherrod.
within that series.
Sherrod's not here.
Sherrod would be right down the middle.
You tricked me.
Sherrod would be right down the middle, I think.
You tricked me.
We need an updated one with Sherrod in it. That
Do we
was
have a
created
disgusted
before.
meter? Yeah, we're all pinned on the disgusted meter. That's for sure. We're pinned. I'm not panicked. I'm not even halfway. I'm less than halfway. I disgusted is a much better way to put it. Annoyed, disgusted, all of those
It
things.
should be called confidence meter. Where's your confidence level on these guys?
Let me ask the chat first before you light us up. Everyone knows it's a good idea for Jalen Brown to get all NBA because it makes it more likely he's going to stay. How do we feel about this incessant talking about it at this point in time? Have we lost focus? Are we losing focus? We've now had Malcolm Brogdon, Grant Williams, takes to Twitter.
Al Horford.
Okay. Huh?
Al Horford,
Horford did
tweeted
it too?
something. I think he tweeted something out.
Yeah.
John, you know
All
what this,
NBA, all NBA, all NBA.
you know what this reminds me of, John?
We got to get it. We got to get our all NBA.
Everyone's gotten the old company-wide email where it's like, "Hey guys,
That's
really
100% what's happened.
we're really excited about this, show or this product that's coming out next week. We really want you guys to
Really
promote
promote it.
Yeah, like just really hammer it hard. Here's an example of a tweet that you could send, but make sure you just make it your own. Just like switch it up and make it your own. We've all gotten those emails, and I think that may have gone around the Celtics locker room.
Yeah. People don't mind it because all of you guys coddle them and treat them like they're royalty. And
Right.
all we're talking about is all NBA. We know it's good for the Celtics. We know it's good for the Celtics. It's good for their mindset right now to be thinking about this. You're playing games that matter. And I know right now, actually, now that you've lost this one, you're not playing games that matter. Screw it. Sit everybody and let Jalen get 70. If you think that's going to get him all NBA, go for it. But nonstop talk about it, nonstop talk, about this thing. And again, it makes sense. Maybe part of what Jalen was talking about is, yeah, nobody's talking about me. No one's campaigning for me. Where's the love? Show me some love. But he was asked about it today. Asked about whether or not, and let me see if I can find it, what he was thinking about it. And this was his answer. And again, nothing Jalen answers is like simple or normal. So here's what.
Right.
Here's
You're
what
gonna learn something.
He's gonna tell you something, okay? Something you didn't know. Here's Jalen talking about the All NBA today.
I just come out every night and play basketball. A lot of stuff is out of my control. It is what it is at the end of the day. But I understand how the game works. It's not always about who are the best players. Sometimes it's a little bit political. It depends on whoever feels comfortable with voting with. All I do is come out every night and try to help my team win and be the best version of myself. I don't try to step on any toes. I just come out and be Jalen Brown and do what I'm asked. And I have fun doing it. I have fun winning. We're on a 51-win team right now. I'm looking for one tonight.
Didn't get the win tonight.
Looking
for the win tonight.
Didn't get the win tonight. Didn't get the All NBA third team performance tonight either. So
Did
it was
not
a
get
double,
it. This
double
one
loss
hurts. This
tonight.
one hurts.
Yeah, this one does hurt.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I mean, I don't hate the answer. But I can't say that it's in the history of these awards, I've never really thought it's political. I think there's probably some players that, based on their name, maybe they get a couple more votes than they
political's the wrong
should.
word.
Yeah.
There's bias. Like, I know this guy. He's been good forever. It's like when Rafael Palmeiro won a Gold Glove like a zillion years ago, playing 28 games at first base. That meant like 500 voters out there. Most of them didn't know he was a DH all year. Like there's stupidity among voters who vote based on name and reputation. And they see Harden, they see Anthony Davis, and they don't look up the fact that they missed 25, 30 games. They're just like, that guy's good, right? Click. So he's right. It can be dumb. And it's a dumb friggin' process that his $80 million is riding on whether or not a guy spent the time to actually look and see how many games somebody played.
Right. Imagine if Bobby had like the final vote and like somehow it got back to Jalen that he didn't get the vote or something. Like Bobby would be hanging from his underwear in the locker. You know what I mean? Like how do these guys should not have that power? You know, and I think that will possibly change in the next CBA. What's this? Oh, that's a good one.
That's all I do.
Yeah. Doesn't step on anybody's toes, just like the entire city.
I just go in and crap on everybody in an interview.
Yeah, not anybody in particular.
Toes,
no, not anyone in particular's toes, just everybody's toes.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's where we're at. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I did go rogue. I'm sorry. I lost my mind.
So do you have a problem with it?
No, I mean, I'm wondering if it's become an all-consuming thing. And honestly, it might not even be a bad thing because right now you're playing for nothing. I joked about it the other day.
We joked that the Celtics should be like doing some campaigning for them, and I guess now they are.
And sit Tatum and let Jalen get a bunch of 40 pieces and pad those stats, get it to 27-something points per game, and just sit there and be okay, done with it, and make everybody, have to vote you off when you're like the 6th leading scorer in the NBA or whatever is going to end up 10, 11, 12. Sure, go for it, whatever. The obsession is interesting. The fan obsession, the media obsession. It's just become this thing. Like, oh, we got to get Jalen all NBA. And, I get it. It's just, it's rolling out of control.
It's not common, I don't think, to be in this type of a situation where you're there's so much is on the line, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But this is kind of what they've created. They've created this situation because normally who the hell would, I don't think he would care as much if there wasn't so much money tied to it. I think that's safe to say. You still want to get the respect and you still want to make that team, but it wouldn't be a talking point right now in the NBA. It wouldn't be something that all the players felt or all his teammates felt the need to come out and say, but it's obviously very important to Jalen Brown, and it makes sense that it is because of the financial reasons tied to it and everything like that. So it's hard for me to criticize it because I probably would be doing the same exact thing if I was
Don't you think the 1 seed's what's more important, the 1 seed or Jalen Brown getting? This is a legit question, by the way. 1 seed or Jalen Brown getting all NBA, thus making it more likely he stays long term.
Important to who? Fans or important to Jalen Brown?
The world, the cosmos, the Celtics biosphere,
universe.
Yeah,
it's 1 seed. I mean, definitely it's Jalen Brown staying long term. More important than the 1 seed. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, it probably is.
Right, and I don't think that's not like an either or scenario, anyways. But if you were tasked with,
it probably is. I'm not BSing. It probably is.
I don't think that's so much of a distraction where they're not.
I don't think it's an either or thing that like, oh, they're trying so hard for that. But yeah. Anyway.
But it's not. I don't think it's helping. Like distractions aren't obviously good, and you want to be playing team basketball. You don't want to be a teammate feeling like, oh, I need to get Jalen his. I need to get Jalen a 40 tonight. You don't want to have that pressure on you or that extra thought going through your head that's what you're trying to do, So I would say it's a distraction in that sense. Sounds like Bobby's on his way, so we'll hang out for a couple more minutes.
It's killing me. I want to be done. I wanted to be done an hour ago.
I know.
We're only 48 minutes. This
always happens. We'll give Bobby we'll come on and say, Bobby, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Bye.
Of course, I do want to hear from him to hear what I haven't been on Twitter. I don't know if any quotes that came out. I want to see how close my predictions were at the beginning of the show on what was said post game. So it sounds like he was waiting on Tatum. So it sounds like he got Tatum, I would think, but
Then what? Tell me more.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking right now. Bruins lost tonight too. Tough night in Boston.
I know.
Now they have something to play for, kind of away from the actual playoffs too, which is interesting. They're trying to play for the best record of all time, which I think is worth going for, to be completely honest. Maybe that's like lame or like childish behavior, but it's in pretty good reach. I'm not saying completely kill yourself over it, but I think they should still be playing to win these games.
I'm out of things to say, Jimmy. I'm going to sit here in silence until Bobby gets here.
It was a Bruins comment.
I know.
So that's my Bruins take. I will be going to some Bruins playoff games. I'm pretty excited about that.
You are?
Yeah. I got season tickets with some friends, dude. I told you.
That's pretty neat.
That gives us access to the playoff tickets. So I'm pretty fired up about that. And I just found out that I get first pick for playoff tickets because we did a Bruins season draft, and I had the first pick, and I picked the Winter Classic because they told me that was part of the ticket package, and it wasn't part of the ticket package. So I got completely screwed on my first overall pick of the Bruins tickets draft. But it works out because now I get playoff tickets.
What a year to do this.
I know. We had no idea.
I would not have bet on this year as like a good year to do Bruins season tickets because I thought they were going to be garbage. By the way, in the history of apology cams, no one on the planet deserves more of one from everybody than Don Sweeney.
I agree.
For this year. Talk about a guy that was like his approval rating was like 1. For everything that he'd done, and people wanted to run him out of town, and he was literally right about everything that everyone said he was 100% wrong about. Never, ever has anybody been more right than everybody thought was more wrong. Incredible.
I know.
Anyway, Bobby, go. You got 4 minutes, and then we're
Bobby,
leaving.
final thoughts?
Bye. Final thoughts.
Yeah.
What a game.
Bad one. Yeah.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Bobby.
FanDuel.com/Boston. Bad one. That's all he gets. That's all Bobby gets tonight. FanDuel.com/Boston. Go check it out.
All right, he's back.
What did they say, Bobby?
Bobby, you're looking sharp, though. I'll give you that.
You are.
You're looking like that flowering tree that you took a picture of.
No, we need actual basketball. We can't do this now. Okay. Bobby's got like 5 minutes to tell us everything. I'm going to mute
myself and just listen.
Go.
I'm kind of surprised by the lack of concern over this one, which is what I sensed across the board, starting with Joe saying that they've rarely had these nights. This was just an off night, stuff like that. Although he mentioned them not picking up guys in transition and troubling things like that defensively, just injecting life into the Wizards. Similar from Smart, similar from Brown, not a ton of concern over losing ground in the 1 seed. They don't want to carry anything like this forward. They just try to let something like this go, and I think you pretty much saw that evenly across the board. I even asked Jason, who we just talked to, whether he's worried that a game like this could come back to haunt them if they don't have the 1 seed against Milwaukee, and he almost like seemed shocked by the question. He was like, "No, we won road games late in the playoffs last year against Miami and Milwaukee."
Why play for any seeding? Sure, doesn't matter. Go in as the 8th seed. It's fine.
Yeah, and what he said about last year is true, but they also had a Game 7 against Milwaukee that was very important in that series, and
there you go.
Home court ultimately, I think, was some part of what happened in the NBA Finals, getting a Game 2 for Golden State, even though they lost the Game 1. So again, it's not everything. I think the bigger deal is playing well going into the playoffs, and Joe thinks that they're doing that, but they've had a lot of these slip-ups. Gary was running them off on Twitter. I saw Houston, Utah, Oklahoma City, which was probably their worst game of the year. This one's probably second.
Brooklyn 28-pointer.
Yeah, they've let a lot of games go, and they haven't shown much concern after any of them. So, I don't know.
That's true. And
how many games no longer become just one game? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, they've had letdowns numerous times in games like these, and tonight was really an energy thing, wasn't it? At one point, Kispert drove to the basket and missed a layup, and no one was there for the rebound. Little execution steps constantly missed over. I asked Joe why they didn't play Rob as much, and he basically just said he wasn't getting out on Porzingis. So they want to have Horford out there, who missed a lot of shots. Jalen said it was a weird night coming into this. I followed up on that and was like, what was weird about the day before this?
And they lost to Orlando 3 friggin' times this year, guys.
Wait, yeah. Time out. Bobby, can you start over really quickly on the Jalen thing?
I think exactly what he said was it wasn't a normal night coming into this. I don't know if he was referring to the White House. I followed up on it, but he said it just wasn't a normal night coming in.
What does that mean, and why does it matter? Why say that? What does it matter? What does it know is normal?
Was it traffic? I don't remember hearing traffic.
I don't know.
These guys have their, they have, I guess, their routines, and I guess if you just slightly mess with it,
is part of your routine going to the White House?
I think he's talking about the plane delay coming in. They had a big plane delay coming in last night.
Give me a break. If that's the excuse, that can't be it. That honestly cannot be it. You had a plane delay. Your private plane landed a couple hours later than it should have. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna fly for why.
Those are the only two things,
like
right?
Zombies a day later.
I don't know. He's too deep for me to understand. So, whatever. But
did they admit that they came out like with no energy and no effort and played like crap? Did they have any of that to say, or can you
anybody we can't do that, like any like
Marcus
this
talked, and that you didn't even hear that from him. He went to we're gonna take everybody's best shot. We got Washington's best shot tonight, and I've heard, how many times have we heard that this year?
Jalen quote: "It was a weird game. Traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. No excuse. You just made the excuse.
No excuse.
That was the excuse.
Just ending
the sentence with no excuse.
Traffic."
It was a weird game. Traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. No excuse.
That's like what I say when I'm late
That's
for
the
work.
excuse. You just made the excuse and then said no excuse.
Yeah, that's the excuse right there.
I want to see that clip again.
No, but if you,
I want to circle
it's
back
an old
on
trick.
that.
If you say no excuse after the excuse, you can get away with.
Oh, like traffic going to the game?
Apparently, DC traffic is no joke, Bobby. People think Boston traffic's tough. I guess they haven't been in DC.
So, whatever. Again, it doesn't matter if they go into the playoffs and just smoke people. It doesn't matter. It can be just one game. But,
it's a weird time.
How about this? You know what we talked about, kind of vibing what the fans are feeling? Obviously, there's always going to be a faction of people who are like, it's no big deal. Hold on. Amit's going back and forth on that to see if it's confirmed, that bite. Could be paraphrased and incorrect. If so, we apologize for jumping out.
What? No, he put it in quotes. He literally put it in quotes.
He did, but he got it from a source that he's not sure that's exactly what it was.
I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah. So he's now he's circling back. Someone might have paraphrased it.
Do we have to fire Amit tonight? Oh my God, we might have to fire Amit
Apology, Cam.
No, he said something about this not being a normal night coming into today.
Amit says he's standing on what he said? Amit, why are you texting me? Oh, you're texting me it is the bite. Amit's standing by it. Take that, Bobby. Pay attention better.
Shame on anybody who doubted Amit, because I will die.
Amit's never made a mistake.
Word. Yeah.
Nor will he ever.
Shame on anybody. We'll scrub the previous footage of me calling him out.
This show wasn't unlisted.
Yeah, that's true.
I know.
Bobby, here's a question. Are you ready? How much of this blame pie, if you will.
Wait. Are we going to go back to the first topic?
Yeah, because I want to know what his take is.
All right, hold on.
Respect his opinion.
First off, let me finish the last thing, and then we can get Bobby's take on that. Do you guys think they need to vibe based on what people are feeling? Like, if people watch this game, they're like, come on, guys, what the F? Do you think they got to give that back to the fans a little bit? Like, yeah, this was bad, and we don't have an excuse, rather than it doesn't matter. Does anybody want to hear it doesn't matter?
Not after all the times this has happened.
You don't want to hear it doesn't matter. If you don't want to hear I don't care, and it's okay, and we're fine. You want to hear that, like, this can't happen. 6 games to go in the playoffs. We can't lose focus like this. We needed this game. Like, I don't get whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like it's kind of like a child. Well, I'm taking your iPad away. Whatever, I don't care. I wasn't gonna play that game anyway. Like it's like silly. We're gonna win on the road. Like, no, at least fake it a little. Anyway,
they're a little loose, and I think that's why they come up short in games like this. The letdown factor, obviously, and it happens with every team. We've seen teams do it against them. The problem is they're in a spot of so much more consequences than some of these other teams. They need, I think, the 1 seed against the Milwaukee. I do think that's important this year. You got to be playing well. I mean, you can take two sides on that, right? Who cares? We just need to be playing well going into the playoffs. Joe tonight said he thinks they are. They did come in here number 1 on offense and defense over this last recent stretch. I don't know if they're playing at the top of their game, though. I don't think overall coming into this.
No, Bobby, I agree with
months.
you. And this is why I said I'm not super, I have trust issues with them because I don't know if
matters.
Going to show up.
Something matters out of it. If not everything matters out of this one, and we know that's true, so be it. But something's gonna matter. Are they not the same level defensively? They really got smashed on the defensive end in this game. Porzingis took it to them. Mm-hmm. Their switching did not bother Washington at all. They left a bunch of guys open. Maybe it is a care thing, but offensively, I thought they were weird. Super loose and everything was weird. Ineffective.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost Brown for long stretches. Rob doesn't take a shot tonight. Kind of weird.
Is it?
Horford missed everything. So I think that's one of the things you look at and just say missed shots as we sometimes do.
We're going to see if Ahmed is right. He's going to clip this bite and send it to me. Jimmy, ask your question because this is how we started the show, Bobby.
Well, it was a two-parter. One, I want to know if Joe Mazzulla had anything to say of note after the game today. And the reason I ask is because when we started the show, there are, as usual, a lot of commenters complaining about Joe's coaching abilities, specifically tonight. I wasn't sure if you thought he deserved any part of the blame pie for the way the team played tonight.
Maybe they go that adjustment against Porzingis a little late there. I thought they might have actually needed a little more Rob, maybe in double big combinations rather than less. They did go to double big for a short time.
He went to it early. First sub resulted in double big.
Yeah, and you were playing close at that point, despite the Wizards making a lot of shots. It's into the second quarter, really into the third.
It actually didn't go well. That first double big stint might have changed his thinking. It didn't go that great.
No, especially offensively, they just weren't
at all
executing.
Rob looked lost today, all over the place. And his one-on-one defense, he doesn't contest a one-on-one at all. People get into his body, and he doesn't even get off the ground. It's very strange. You can go right at Rob.
Well, here's the thing that still worries me about this team.
John, I asked
probably
Bobby.
The biggest thing.
Sorry.
Jesus.
He's asking, but he sidestepped. Go back to Mazzulla.
Yeah, so it's the biggest thing we've talked about with Joe all year.
Thank you.
The threes. Another game where I think you're launching out of the gate. I think they go 7 for 25 in the first half, so you're on pace for 50.
But did he not motivate them to
get
play,
out of
Bobby?
here, man?
He caught a lot of timeouts, that's for sure. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that still worries me about this team is the three-point shooting, and tonight's another bad night on that end, especially early. They start 7 for 25 on that end, finish 25%, launch 44, they're 93 from deep. They worked for great shots early. I wasn't worried at all when I saw them running out in transition and Smart's throwing it behind the back to Tatum and they're dunking and just rolling over them early, but a couple shots don't go down, and they got completely outside of their offense, working for shots, layers of passing, all the things we've liked in recent weeks here. So something about, number one, of course, missed shots, something about officiating too, which I think got in their head a little bit tonight. Tatum, a couple offensive fouls, going back and forth with them. They lose a challenge in that second quarter, or the Wizards win one rather, that I didn't understand at the time, but it loses Tatum that trip to the free throw line at that spot. And does that kind of take a little bit out of his night? I didn't think he was horrible. I think him and Brown were both average tonight, but the other guys across the board outside of Smart really just weren't able to contribute much. Nothing from White in this one, nothing from Horford, nothing from Rob. Brogdon was okay. And then that bench gave him that little boost that actually looked like it was going to go somewhere. until Grant threw the ball away from the corner.
Oh my God, this is the worst pass in history.
I think Scal
Grant's
just said terrible pass.
Grant was out there complaining the whole fourth quarter, and it's like, oh man, like you didn't think you got a good whistle tonight. Complaining in garbage time isn't gonna help.
Grant was brutal.
Yeah,
he really was. All right, Bobby, what else you got?
Yeah, give us something else. Wait, do we have the clip?
Oh wait, yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I didn't understand post game was something about a weird night coming into this.
Traffic clip.
I guess
this is an all-time quote.
Yeah, we'll see. We're working on it.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're working on it. We'll hang out a little longer.
But was this their worst game of the year?
We've said that a few times. I don't know.
No, I think OKC was worse.
I think OKC was probably worse. This was one of the more surprising, given the timing, the potential stakes, the way they've been playing, and entering it fully healthy.
The stakes? You got to keep pace with Milwaukee. Get within a game.
That's what I said.
You're going to fall behind.
God, why are you arguing with me? I'm saying the stakes were legit.
Yeah.
So you have to take that into consideration because somebody said OKC. OKC is kind of a middle of the year game, like this.
And they played their ass off that night.
You needed this, and you knew you were heading into what was your most important game left on the schedule, and you mucked it. Right. Fully healthy with no excuse.
Yeah, this is definitely up there as one of them. I mean, you're playing a team that at this point they have nothing to play for except like they want to lose games at this point. I mean, Beal's sitting. Kuzma's sitting. They're not even really trying to win, and they just fell into this one. So, I mean, I say that obviously players are always trying to win, so I don't actually mean that. But the point is, from an organizational standpoint, they're not doing a whole lot to put a winning product out there. The Celtics have every reason to. Bobby, even if the Celtics didn't play well tonight, they still should have won this game. And instead, they lost by 20.
I think the fourth quarter showed that, and teams let down when they go up by 20 and the other bench comes in, but that second unit, that bench unit, was running good offense, getting up and down the floor, piling up stops. And they cut it to within 12 quickly.
Yeah.
So you didn't need to do that with your frontline guys, and you would have had a win handily.
Bobby sent out a weird file.
Porzingis was great.
I've never seen anything like this.
Damn it, Bobby. Bobby.
It's like a photo. Oh, he's got it.
Wait,
Keep going, Bobby.
Bobby sent the file but doesn't recall the quote. What are you doing over there, my man?
I don't know what you're talking about. Porzingis.
The Brown quote.
Yeah, but I sent a photo. Whatever. We'll take this off the air. The Wizards saw an opening tonight, though, and sprinted through it. I mean, they were definitely trying to win this game, and I did think Porzingis was awesome.
He was great.
He killed their switches.
Remember when we didn't want to trade Marcus Smart for him?
Yeah. I thought the conversation was Kemba. It was.
No, I think it was.
He was one of those. He was one of those guys who fit the money. Yeah.
Oh, it's Kemba.
Yeah.
I think it was Kemba. Yeah.
We were debating.
Let's redo that trade. Keeping your first round pick and Porzingis over Al. Are you better?
No. Al was not good tonight, though. Porzingis took it to him. They switched out on some smaller guys, and they didn't do a great job either. But, there were moments in this game where you just really saw the Wizards knowing that they were going to go to spots and Celtics weren't going to be there. There was one play where their point guard threw into Porzingis. He threw right out to Kispert, and Avdia was already celebrating because they knew they had an open three, and the Celtics just weren't getting out to those. The defense was brutal. The offense was bad too, but defense killed them tonight. I think that's definitely an apathy thing. You can get on Joe about rotations, this and that. This definitely wasn't a Joe night. These guys just didn't show up.
There it is. Okay.
After the first couple minutes.
Not Joe's fault. Did Joe have anything to say after the game about the lack of whatever?
No, this was one of those Joe nights after the Magic losses, Indiana early in the year. He said, we've rarely had these nights.
Whatever. I don't blame Joe.
No.
I blame traffic.
Just throw it away, get ready for the next one. It was a weird game. Traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. I think no excuse. We got to be better, starting with me. But we've been playing good basketball. We should get back to it.
There it is. Trust in
Yeah, I didn't even notice he said traffic in the streets or traffic in the
I
lane.
couldn't tell. Did he mean traffic in the lane?
No, he didn't mean traffic in the lane. He literally meant.
I don't know. When I
Getting to the
first
game.
saw it, that's what I thought he was talking about. Like, was it like they were like causing traffic?
Play it
for
again.
them?
Play it one more time. Play it one more time.
Play it again.
We just throw it away, get ready for the next one. It was a weird game. You know, traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. You know, I think no excuse. We got to be better. Starting with me, but we've been playing good basketball. We just get back to it.
I think it's traffic, like on the
Because
road.
I believe everything Amit tells me. He says apparently the late shoot around due to the 1 hour bus ride caused by traffic from their hotel to the arena. So they were late to shoot around, Bobby?
They were late to shoot
No,
around.
they must have been late to the game. The shoot around when it's scheduled.
Well, no, but
The
probably
only way one wouldn't know that if they were unless they were also late to the game. I'm just kidding. I don't know idea.
No, I was very early in the game. They didn't even let me in.
Some people saying Grandy said it again. We're speculating. It doesn't matter. Who knows what it means? Traffic,
They're just such a vague comment.
but no excuses.
Traffic threw
No
everybody
excuses.
off. I don't think he means traffic in the. Everybody's not.
Just throw it away, get ready for the next one. It was a weird game. You know, traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. You know, I think no excuse. We got to be better. Starting with me, but we've been playing good basketball. We just get back to it.
First, I want to address this comment. Who cares if we've been through DC traffic? It's not a matter that traffic is bad and can be disruptive. It's that you would allow traffic to mentally impact you. Traffic's just life, babe. Like, it happens everywhere. Like,
And also, let me just say this about traffic.
Unprompted too. I don't even know.
Go sit on 93 going north from like the Braintree split to the tunnel and tell me that we don't know traffic, because that's the worst stretch of highway in the freaking country.
There's nothing like 93 to 95, Boston to Peabody, late in the day.
No, try going South Shore, Bobby. Try to get 93 South anytime between. Literally
93 north brutal
to the
from the south.
split.
Try to get 93 to the Braintree split anytime between
any hour.
6 a.m. to noon, and then 1 till 8.
How about the T?
You got about 1 hour where you can maybe get through there.
I will say this:
it's like a 20% chance of an accident.
Hingham's 15 miles away and 3 hours from Boston. Like it's ridiculous.
And in the summer, multiply it by 3.
Yeah.
How about the T? Now that would be an excuse if they took the T.
I don't sniff the T.
It's just life, babe.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, listen, traffic's enough to throw anybody off, I guess, but you gotta reel it in. I'm sorry, like.
I will say,
highway.
Jimmy,
What do they got? Highway hypnosis going into the game?
Jimmy, you've been in traffic where you think the world's about to end. You're moving an inch, you stop, but you're not driving if you're them. Like if they were driving themselves to this game,
they're just sitting on the bus with their headphones on.
Jimmy, I will say,
whatever the hell they want.
If they all drove themselves to this game and were in gridlock, I think I'd take it. That could be infuriating.
This is a fair question. Steve, yes, you can. We're going to bed too. We're going to call it. Okay, we're done. Thanks, guys, for hanging out.
Yeah.
How about Sturo to
No. FanDuel.com/Boston. Sign up. Exclusive wagering partner to the CLNS Media Network. Fade the Celtics. The ship is going down.
Can I hear that quote one more time?
No,
please.
No, off air.
One more time, Joe. Let's go out on
One more time.
Just throw it away, get ready for the next one. It was a weird game. You know, traffic kind of messed everything up, threw everybody off. You know, I think no excuse. We got to be better.
No excuse.
I swear he's talking about something that happened in the game. It was a weird game. Traffic threw everything. I swear, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, it was a weird game because traffic threw everybody off, like getting there. That explains their lack of, I guess, oomph to get things going. I would be stressed.
I hope there's no traffic in Boston come playoff time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the old police escort that they did for Doug Mirabelli. We got to get the Doug Mirabelli treatment for these games.
Well, if you don't have home court, you're not going to be able to get that.
I haven't wanted to do a single minute of this show, and I'm still here an hour and 10 minutes later.
Luckily, there's no traffic in Milwaukee.
Okay,
That's
bye.
true.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging.
We'll see you Thursday. Josue's back. Jimmy, Bobby, Sherrod.
Big
enjoy.
one.
Thursday's my birthday, by the way.
Is it?
What?
Yeah.
Are you going to be in Milwaukee?
No, we're here. Good thing
All
we
right,
skipped that
good.
one, Bobby. It
We'll
means
have a
nothing
party.
now. All right. See you guys.
Peace.
Later all. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun, actually. Good